नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Every last Saturday of every month there will be talk in English. Today I have taken up for my talk the subject Swami Vivekananda's vision of life. As you all know, Swami Vivekananda was a versatile personality. He was like a beacon, shedding light on every aspect of human life, human endeavor. There is not a subject which he did not deal with. Everything related to man was dear to him. It may be philosophy, it may be psychology, it may be morality, it may be history, everything. All subjects he has dealt with. He has shed his own light, his own original thoughts on it. That is a great contribution of Swami Vivekananda. Today, we shall see how Swami Vivekananda defines life. What is life? There are different definitions given by Swami Vivekananda, and there is a common thread is there in all these different the definitions Swami Vivekananda has given. Before directly going into the subject, we shall see what is life itself in a general way. Each letter of the word life has got its own significance. There are 4 letters are there. L-I-F-E, life. 4 letters are there. We can say these 4 letters represent the 4 Purusharthas of human life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So, to put it in hierarchical order, the Kama, Artha, Dharma and Moksha. These 4 letters are there, you know, this L-I-F-E. The L represents love. Love is a basic necessity. Kama refers to the basic necessity of life. Without that, human life cannot be there. So here, love also is a basic necessity. Without love, man cannot survive at all. Even physical survival also, they say, the love is needed. The love is a most essential aspect of life. Without love, life becomes like a desert, barren. It is the love that gives savor to the life. Life becomes livable, lovable and bearable because of the love. So that is a basic necessity, more than the food, more than air, more than anything else. That is very important point to be noted. The love is a most basic necessity. So the L represents love. And I is there, I represents the intelligence. Through intelligence, our intellectual capacity, you have to find meaning in life. We have to live a meaningful life. That is another basic necessity also. Artha, that is called Artha. So there must be meaning in life. I must find out my own meaning in life. I have to think about it, cogitate about it. And we have to develop that rational faculty to know what is the meaning of my life. Why at all I am living? Without that, there will be a tendency to lose one's own life, waste one's own life in a different ways. So that is why the artha is most important. The intelligence refers to the artha, finding out the meaning in life. So that is a kama artha. And there is another letter is the faith. I don't have to highlight on the idea of faith at all, because what is the importance of life in life, faith in life. Faith in oneself, faith in God. This is dharma. This is dharma. Without faith, we cannot steer through the different dualities of life, all the difficulties and problems and challenges we have to face in life. Unless we have this strong faith in ourselves, in God, it's not possible to steer through these different vicissitudes of life that you have to face in life. So the faith is most important. So that is the most important component of life, the faith. That represents dharma. Dharma. You must have faith. So Swami Vivekananda says, the faith in the power of goodness. Faith in the power of goodness, that is a basic need necessary. So the faith is most important. You must have the faith in the moral goodness, the power of moral goodness, faith in ourselves, faith in God. These are the three important faith we require in life. That is faith. That is about F. And the another letter is E. E represents the end of life. That is moksha. Moksha. So there is an end of life is there, that is liberation. We have come here, taken human birth to liberate ourselves. Apavarga. Apavarga means being liberated from all the products of Prakriti. All the karmas, all the samskaras, the samsara, what we call samsara. You have to be liberated from that moksha. That represents the end of life. End, that is E. And also it indicates the education through experience, learning through the experience. Life teaches us so many things. There is hundreds and thousands of things are there to learn in life, through the life, the process of life. One who refuses to learn, he will not live at all meaningfully. So it's a continuous lesson. We shall come to this point when we deal with Swami Vivekananda's definitions of life. So that is another point. That means the word life itself has got its own significance. Of course, it can be interpreted in different ways according to the experiences of others. So there is one way of putting it. Now, I shall consider certain definitions given by other thinkers on life. There are hundreds of definitions are there. I only selected very few of them. So, at the backdrop of these definitions, we will be able to understand and appreciate better what Swami Vivekananda, the definition given by Swami Vivekananda on life. One James F. Berry, he defines life as life is a long lesson in humility. Already told life has got many things to teach us. We have to learn from the life. To learn from life experience, the different kinds of experience, we have that great quality of humility, namrata. That humility must be there. Then only it is possible to learn from many things in life. So many things are there to learn. I don't have to highlight all these things. So then another definition given by Rabindranath Tagore. He was a poet, He gives a very beautiful poetic definition of life. Let your life lightly dance on the edge of time like a dew on the tip of a leaf. So he compares life to the dewdrop that is at the edge of the leaf. Dewdrop means, in the morning especially, it looks so beautiful, like a gem. It will be shining with the sunshine, shining with so brightly, so nicely. It looks like a gem, So, our life also must be shining like this. That is most important. It must be shining. It must be shining with the light of the Atman within, light of the God within. So, this life also must be shining like this, like a dewdrop. It shines with the light of the sun. And at the same time, it is at the tip of the leaf. At any time it may fall. It is evanescent. This life also is evanescent. You must be ready for it. At any time it may fall. You may die. So, you must be able to accept this also. That is very important. End also is there. Death also is there. It is a part of the life. That also you must be ready to accept it. So, in that way, so many shades of meanings are there in this. And it must be dancing, he says. Dancing, not jumping. Not jumping, dancing. Dancing means there is a rhythm is there. Beauty is there in dance. Life also must be like that. It must be rhythmic. It must be disciplined, rhythmic. There may be beauty in life. There is a joy in life. We have to enjoy that one. Joy of life. So that is a beauty. So that is why this must be dancing. He chooses the word very nicely, dancing. Lightly dancing. So like a dewdrop, lightly dancing. Life is like that. At the tip of the edge of the time. Like the dew at the edge of the tip of the leaf. So like that life is, there are different shades of meanings are there in this definition of Rabindranath Tagore. Another definition we shall consider: the truest end of life is to know the life that never ends. So the word end is used in two different sense here. One is end means the goal of life. Another is end is end. That is what do we call ಕೊನೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ. So that means you have to know what is the end of life. What that end of life? That life never ends. That is eternal life. Eternal life. So that means the end of life is to live a eternal life. To live a eternal life. That means immortality. You have to reach the immortality. That is the end of life. That is the definition of, that is the meaning of this definition. Another definition: no man enjoys the true taste of life, but he who is ready and willing to quit it. Willingly. Willing must be there, not forced. You must willingly quit it. That is very important. Consciously you must be able to quit it at any time. End may come at any time. You must always be ready to quit it. Such a person only really enjoys life, he says. Seneca, he is called Seneca, he is a Greek philosopher. He says, that is, there is a similar Sanskrit shloka also is there. Nabhinandeta maranam, nabhinandeta jivanam, kalameva pratiksheta niyamo bhrutako yata. That means, nabhinandeta maranam. One should not go on, love the death. Nabhinandeta maranam, nabhinandeta jivanam. One should not cling to life also. One should not go on, oh, I must die. That kind of thing also should not be there. Nabhinandeta maranam, na abhinandeta jivanam. He should not cling to life also. One must be ready to quit. At the same time, you should not go, I must die. That kind of attitude also is not good. Not hating the life, not again clinging to life. That is what is important. So that is why, who is ready to quit, he only enjoys life, he says. He only enjoys life. He only really tastes the life. So that is why one must be always ready to quit at any time. That is why Swami Vivekananda always used to say, we have to love death. Love death does not mean, Swami Vivekananda defines, what is sannyasa? Sannyasa is the love of death, he says. Does not mean that I must always commit suicide. Always hankering to commit suicide. Not like that. One must give up our ego, clinging to life. That is important. So that is why one must live such a life. When that is there, when we know there is an end to this life, when mentally I am prepared to die at any moment, then only I enjoy life, he says. That is a very interesting definition. And one more, the last one. Life is a journey, not home. Life is a journey, not a home. A road, not a city of habitation. And enjoyments and blessings we have are but little inns on the roadside of life. So it's a journey, continuous journey. You should not try to remain eternally here. You should not build a house. There is also another definition is there in the Bible. Life is like a bridge. One must pass through, not build a house on it. So that is why the life is always like, you should not never think that I must remain here permanently. So that is why what you have to do, you have to pass through. It's a continuous journey, continuous traveling. Life is a continuous traveling. It is a travel from the birth to the death. So traveling means what happens, it's so much of experience we get. So many different kinds of experience. So that is the life. You should never think that I will remain here permanently, and you should not have any permanent asset for me, because thinking that I will be here for eternally here, I will live eternally. So that is that kind of attitude, that kind of thing should not be there. One must always ready. It is a journey, continuous journey. I should not go on. People who journey through, always travel, they don't carry much luggages. As less luggage as possible, as less burden as possible. So you must have less burden as possible. So that is the life. That is you have to think that it is all a journey. It is not a permanent house. It is not a dwelling place. Life is not a dwelling place. Now we shall come to Swami Vivekananda definition of life. Swami Vivekananda has a multiple dimension, you can say. He has, with his unsullied mind, without any prejudices, without any cognitive biases, as nowadays call it, cognitive biases, he was able to see things, see through it, go deep into it, penetrate through everything, and see what is the real essence of things. So that was he had that insight. So he gives a very beautiful definition, very comprehensive definition of life. When the Khetri Maharaja Ajit Singh asked him, what is life? With pat came the reply. It as a flash it came. Life is unfoldment and development of a being under the circumstances tending to press it down. Suddenly he gives that without thinking even. Without thinking for a moment even. It came out so as a flash, as a lightning it came out. So life is unfoldment and development of a being under the circumstances tending to press it down. So here so many aspects are there. One by one I will take up. We have to dissect it, and part by part we have to see what he means by all these things. What every word here in this definition has got a very deeper meaning. It is pregnant with so many different significances and meanings. So we shall deal with it and discuss that one. So first of all, as a whole, the statement indicates life is a constant struggle. It's a struggle. Swami Vivekananda says, the struggle is sign of life. If there is no struggle, no life at all. Without struggle, it's a death. In death, there is no struggle at all. That is why it is said, in English, The life is taxing and the death is relaxing. So there is no struggle at all in the death. So that means if there is no struggle at all, then it amounts to it is a death only, ultimately. So the life means struggle. Struggle must be there. Then only there is a charm in life. Without struggle, there cannot be any charm in life. So, for example, you take the body. The body is continuously struggling to keep itself healthy and surviving. You know it. You know it. All of you know it. So, it's a continuous struggle. It has to struggle against all the disease germs, all the different kinds of things that is continuously attacking the system, inside and outside both. So there is a constant struggle is there to survive. Constant struggle is there to keep this body healthy. So that that kind of thing is there in the. So that means in this physical level also there is a constant struggle is there. So without struggle there cannot be any life at all, as Swami Vivekananda says. For example, the growth always represents struggle. For example, you take a seed. You just put it on the ground, it won't germinate. You have to put it on the ground and cover it with mud and pour some water. Then what happens, it struggles hard and pushes aside the mud. Even small stone is there, it pushes aside. And slowly it germinates. So soft it is. But in spite of that, with great struggle, it comes up, becomes a plant. So germinates. That also there is struggle is there. Constant struggle is there. How the body survives? For example, the digestive system is there. That is a great struggle. Because of the struggle, digestive struggle is there. Then because of that, the body is surviving. We are able to digest the food. We are able to survive assimilating the food. So that is why there is a struggle. Without struggle, there is no digestion. So there is a struggle. And another example can be given. This caterpillar is there. Caterpillar views around itself a shell. And within the shell, it grows. And with great struggle afterwards, after some time, with great struggle, it comes out the shell, break open the shell and fly freely with flying colors. With flying colors, you can say. So there is one incident is there. One teacher was there, and teacher was explaining how the caterpillar becomes a butterfly and all that he was explaining. And he placed a shell on a table, and it was about to come out. That butterfly was about to come out, and he told the students, you see, you just observe how it comes out. Don't do anything. Simply observe. I will come back after 10 minutes, taking the tea. So he went out, and after 10 minutes he came back, and he found that butterfly came out, but it is all about to die. It cannot fly at all. It is swallowing on the ground. Then he asked the students, what did you do? Why it happened? And one boy, they confessed. He said, sir, it was so much struggling to come out of it. I wanted to help it. So that is why I took a scissor and cut the edge of the shell so that it can come out so easily. It came out, it fell on the ground, and now it is about to die. I don't know how. So that is a mistake you have done. That struggle was necessary for its growth. The wing must become strong, for that struggle was necessary. By helping to come out, you have deprived it of its struggle, its growth. So that is why it is now about to die. So without struggle, there is no growth at all. The growth and also struggle and growth always go together. You cannot separate it. There is another very small story is there, very nice it is. One farmer was there. He had chickens. He used to feed the chickens. How he used to feed, You spread the corns on the ground and cover them with the straw. Whole thing is covered, and below that there is the corns are there. And he allows the chickens to eat it. And the chickens will come and go on scratching and all that, searching for the corn, and go on eating, searching and scratching and eating like that. And somebody asked him, why do you do like that? Why are you covering the corns with straw? What is the need of it? And he said, there are two reasons are there. One is, when that struggle is necessary for it. It has to go on scratching and searching where the corn is there and all that, that is necessary for it. It's for its own, physical growth, physical strength and all that, it is necessary. And also, when it goes on searching and scratching and all that, then there is a joy of some achievement, fulfillment, searching for something and getting it. For example, in Mysore, I used to read proofreading. If complete that the proof is completely free from all the defects, no mistakes at all, then I feel very bad. If some mistakes is there, if I am able to get one particular mistake, I used to feel so joy. I used to feel happy. Oh, one mistake I got it. So like the joy of finding is there, joy of searching is there. That also is necessary. That is life. There must be struggle. There must be joy of searching and finding and getting it. So that is why he says, I have to cover the corn with a straw, so that they will search and struggle and eat it and enjoy it. And another very interesting, normally we say, you have to follow the lane of least resistance. Normally we say, whatever work in the undertaking and other different kinds of work, etc., and undertakings, achievements, etc., we have to follow the lane of least resistance. Normally we say like that. But when Napoleon Hill, he very characteristically says, following the lane of least resistance makes all rivers and some men also crooked. These rivers, they follow the lane of least resistance. If there is some, rock is there, it will bypass the rock. If there is some mountain is there, it bypass the rock. It won't struggle hard to go through it. So bypass it. Because of that, it becomes crooked. Rivers become crooked. Some men also doing like that, bypass all these things, difficulties and problems and all, they try to bypass it. Because of that, they become crooked. Humorously, he remarks like that. So they become crooked. So that means, he says that his indication is, struggle must be there. There must be struggle. You have to face the challenges. Then only there is a charm in life. That's what he indicates. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says in this particular definition as a whole indicates life is a great struggle. And struggle must be there. That is the sign of life. Without struggle, there cannot be any life at all. So that is one thing. Now, we shall come to the first word of the statement, that is definition. That is unfoldment and development of a being, Swamiji says. What is meant by unfoldment? Unfoldment means manifestation of something already there. That is unfoldment, manifestation. Some potentiality is there. That potentiality is to be manifested. All the potentialities, all the different talents and capacities and goodness and love and charity, all these things are hidden within us. Whole knowledge is hidden within us. We have to struggle hard to manifest that one. Unfoldment. This unfoldment is most important. That is manifestation. Unfoldment means manifestation. For example, seed. In seed, the tree potentially hidden. It is there. Essentially, it is there. It's in a seed form. So that is why then by sowing it and putting manure, etc., it manifests the essence, the potential, its own potentiality, and grows itself into a huge tree. So that is how this potentiality is to be manifested. That is unfoldment of the already which is there. There are different kinds of potentialities are there within ourselves. There are different stages, hierarchical. There are hierarchical. For example, first of all, we shall consider there are so many capacities and talents are there within ourselves, within the students, within the young boys and girls. That to be manifested. For example, if that is not allowed to be manifested, talents, etc., the manifested, so many mental problems takes place. That's what psychologists are of the opinion. So it must be freely manifested. There must be circumstances favorable to the manifestation of the capacities. Without work, hard work, without struggle, it is not possible to manifest all the capacities and talents which we have. So that is why hard work is necessary, struggle is necessary. Through work only the capacities are manifested, our talents are manifested. There is a nice saying is there in English, the firefly shine only when it is on its wings. Only when its wings, it means it must be flying. Then only that blinking, we see the blinking of the light. It shines only when it is on its wings. That means on its wings means it is always active, being active. Then only we shine in life. Unless we are being active, then it is not possible to shine in life at all. So that is why our talents and capacities are manifested only when we are active, intensely active, creatively active. There is a story of a bird. When bird was there, I forgot the name of that particular bird. One person was there, one person was going to the market with some different kinds of worms in his bag. He met that bird on the way. That bird asked, "Where are you going?" "I am going to the market." "What is there in the bag?" "Some worms are there." "What do you do with that?" "I sell those worms and purchase feather. That bird said, "Why do you go to the market? Why do you take so much of trouble to go to market and all that? You give the worm to me, I will eat, and take one particular feather from my from me and go." And okay, he said, and gave all the worms to the bird and pluck out one particular feather and went back. And every day it happened like this, it seems. Every day he used to come and feed the bird with the worms and take one feather. And gradually what happened, all the feathers are got exhausted. It cannot fly now. It cannot fly. And he stopped coming because it cannot give any more feathers. So he won't go there at all. So it died. So that is it. We have to struggle hard to earn our own livelihood. Then only there is charm is there. Otherwise, constantly spoon feeding is not good. So that is why our own, for survival, etc., our own capacities, etc., to manifest our own capacities and talents, we have to struggle hard. There must be constant activities, creative activities in manifesting our own talents and capacities. There is another capacities, there is another potentiality is there, that is the love and charity. The love is there within us, charity is there within, the idea of charity is there within us. We have to manifest this love and charity through the service activities. That is why Swami Vivekananda gave so much importance to the service, idea of service. And there is another manifestation, that is innate goodness. Goodness is there within us. That goodness is to be manifested through moral perfection, moral integrity, moral practices. Through that, I must be able to manifest that goodness. Then what happens, that goodness becomes so natural with me, in spite of my effort, in spite of so many difficulties and problems that I have to face in life, that goodness I never lose it. That faith, strong faith will be there in the goodness. The strong faith will be there, the power of goodness. So that is why I have to practice this one. Constant through the practice, constant through moral practices, I will be able to manifest this goodness, natural goodness. Natural goodness. That is because it is innate within me. It is potentially within me. Because I am divine. I am divine. So, lastly, as Swami Vivekananda puts it, the manifestation of divinity. Divinity is within us. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity, as Swami Vivekananda puts it. So you have to manifest this. This is unfoldment. This manifestation of this unfoldment of this divinity, fulfills all the manifestation, all other manifestations actually. When this is manifested, everything will come. Naturally it will come. All other manifestations, all other potentialities also will get manifested along with this. That is what Swami Vivekananda says. Manifest divinity and everything else will be harmoniously arranged around it. And also he says, famous statement that we all heard very many times. The goodness will come, purity will come, power will come, everything excellent will come when the sleeping soul rouses itself into self-conscious activities. So divinity is manifested, everything will come. All the higher values will come. The higher values you cannot derive from the matter. It can be derived only through the spiritual source within us. All the higher values. So that is why you have to manifest the divinity. Through that all the higher values will be manifested. It will all those become our own natural tendency. So that is why Swami Vivekananda emphasizes that point. The goal of life is to manifest the divinity. So that is one thing. So there are different aspects of manifestation of divinity, different stages of manifestation of divinity. So now the unfoldment, and this unfoldment refers to in one theory very prevalent in Indian philosophy, that is Satkaryavada. Satkaryavada means this is one particular theory of causation. The effect is already there in the cause. If the effect is not there in the cause, effect that cannot from that effect cause cannot come out. And the effect cannot come out. The effect must always be there. For example, tree is there potentially in the seed. Because of that, seed produces the tree. Seed is the cause of the tree. A stone cannot produce the tree, because in the stone the tree is not there. So that is why cause is already there in the effect is already there in the cause. That is Satkaryavada. Satkarya means effect. It is Sat, is already there. And effect is only another form of the cause. That is Satkaryavada. So that means everything is, whatever I said, all the capacities and talents and love and charity and divinity, goodness, everything is there within us. It is already there within us. We have to manifest that one. That is Satkaryavada. The Karya is there already, and we have only manifesting that one, coming out. It's only expressing what is already there. That is the Satkaryavada. So now there is another Vada is there. That is theory is there about this cause and effect. That is Arambhavada. Arambhavada means effect is something new. It is not there already in the cause. That is the Nayayika says. So this Satkaryavada is propounded by Sankhyas and Yoga and also Vedanta. This Arambhavada is propounded by the Nayayikas, Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas. They say Effect is something new, it is not there in the cause. For example, mud is there and a pot is there. Pot is the effect of the mud, clay. Is there a pot in the mud? When you search for the within the mud, you don't find any pot at all. Is there a tree in the seed? When you break it and search for it, you don't find it. You don't find it. They say like that. Something new. What has come out is something new. What has come out from the cause, original cause, is something new. That is Arambhavada. So they say Arambhavada. That means effect is something new which is not there as we find it, as we see it in the cause. Something new that has come out. That is Arambhavada. And another Buddhistic theory is there. It is more rational. That is Pratitya Samutpada. That is also a theory of causation. Pratitya Samutpada means conditioned origination. Anything that comes out, anything that is caused, it is conditioned by so many factors. Without those conditions, it cannot produce. Seed simply cannot produce the tree. It must be, favorable conditions must be there. The clay must be there. For example, if you put it in the seed here, or even cover it with so many things, also it won't germinate. Only thing is, favorable conditions are there, then only it can produce the tree. The mud must be there, clay must be there, water must be there, air must be there, light must be there. So many things are there, so many factors are there. All these factors together produce one particular effect. So these conditions must be fulfilled. Then only the effect will take place. So conditioned origination, it is called conditioned origination. So that is why they say they don't identify any particular main cause for any particular thing. It's only everything is conditioned. So many different factors are put together, one particular effect takes place. That's all. So that is conditioned origination. It is called Pratitya Samutpada in Buddhism. Now we shall consider all these theories are applicable in the manifestation or unfoldment, as Swami Vivekananda puts it. In unfoldment, all these theories of causation is applicable. For example, there is a first is there, Satkaryavada is there, the potentiality is already there, divinity is there already. No, that is to be manifested. That is Satkaryavada. And there is Arambhavada. Arambhavada is in the actually what is something come out as an effect is something new. Every expression, for example, I may express my divinity, you may express your divinity, so many people express their divinity in a different way altogether. All are not the same. Different way they express it. So that is why the different way of manifestations are there. Different modes of manifestations are there. So that is why it is Arambhavada also is applicable here in that way. Something new. Everybody is something new. Everybody is original in their own way. Everybody is original. So Arambhavada also is applicable here. And there is a Pratitya Samutpada, the conditioned origin. There are so many conditions are necessary for the manifestation of some things. Conditions are to be met. Otherwise, without those conditions, cause cannot produce anything. Any particular cause, it is simply useless. It has no causal relationship at all unless conditions are met. So that is why the conditions also are necessary, favorable conditions are necessary. So that is why this manifestation takes place only with the help of all the favorable conditions are met. Now we come to the another word spoken of in this definition. What is that? Development. Unfoldment and development. Development refers to growth. There is a physical and mental growth is there. Growth cannot be attributed to the divinity within, consciousness within. Growth can be attributed to physical and mental bodies. Growth is always from within. You cannot add something to the things to grow. It is not possible. It is not a growth at all. If something added externally, it is not a growth. Growth is always from within. So that is why there is a nice English saying is there. I used earlier also I quoted it. When an egg is broken from the external force, the life ends. When the egg is broken from the internal force, life begins. That is, the growth is always from within. So growth is always from within. So that is why the growth can be attributed to the internal growth, internal development. Without struggle, there cannot be any growth at all. That is another point to be noted. Growth is always related to the struggle. They give, in the psychology, they give an example, Abraham Maslow, he gives a nice example to illustrate this one. The child is there, the crawling, it cannot walk, small baby, and mother tries to help him to stand up and walk. She somehow great difficulty, she make the child stand up and make him stand and goes back. She goes back. And with great difficulty try to balance itself and try to move further, and suddenly it falls and injures itself, start crying and all that. But mother will not leave. Again she makes the child stand and goes back, leaving it, and go on calling it, come like that. It walks like this. So with great difficulty it tries to walk like that. If a mother is so compassionately, because of her compassion, love for the child, because it is falling and injuring itself and all that, if she, out of compassion, she won't teach the child to walk at all, then it will never learn. It will always, whole life, it will remain crippled. So that is why this growth and safety are two different things, opposite to each other. If you want safety, we cannot grow. You have to take the risk. So growth means growing means always taking the risk. If you remain always in the comfort zone of our own ego-bound existence and try to remain in our own comfort zone, then we will not do anything, achieve anything, we will not grow at all in any aspect of our life. So that is why it is said, there is Emerson made a very funny statement. People do not grow old. When they cease to grow, they become old. So always there must be growth, must be there. Continuous growth must be there. Then only people remain young, even though physically they may appear young, appear old, but they will remain young mentally. So that is why this growth always refers to the struggle and taking the risk, etc. Now this growth refers to the mental and physical aspect of human life. So these two are complementary to each other. What are these two? That is unfoldment and development. As the mental and physical body develops, unfoldment takes place. This is it. That means as the tree grows, the flowers and fruits, etc., come out. As the child goes on, all this bad tendency, good tendency, both bad, good and tendency will manifest. Earlier child, it is so innocent. It is neither good nor bad. So naturally, as it goes on, all the physical and mental bodies grow and nervous system grow. Then gradually all its real tendency, what is there, potentially is there within it, it will manifest. Whether good or bad, whatever that may be, all the tendency will manifest. So that means when the body and the mind grows, then all the potentialities hidden also will grow. So that means unfoldment requires the development, the growth and development of the other aspects of life, that is body and the mind. So these two always complement each other. Appropriate growth in the body and the mind facilitates the manifestation of the divinity. All the other manifestations, divinity and then this process of unfoldment and development is what we call evolution. It is evolution, unfoldment and development of the being. So these two are complementary to each other, as Swami Vivekananda puts it. So now another aspect of this definition we come to, that is what is being. He says, unfoldment and development of a being, he says. What is being? There are three levels of being. One is physical, another is mental, another is spiritual. These are the three levels of being. All the three levels are very, very important to be noted. Here, the development refers to the physical and mental being, and unfoldment refers to the spiritual being. So appropriate development in the mental and physical being will allow the spirit, that is spirituality within us, spiritual being within us, to manifest itself. This is evolution. Swami Vivekananda puts it very beautifully. He says, evolution is nothing but progressive reading of spirit into the matter. Progressive reading of spirit into the matter. So that means as the matter changes, evolves, the spirit also manifests in a greater way. Gradual manifestation it is. Progressive, progressive spirit. Evolution is the reading of this, progressive reading of the spirit into the matter. Progressively it manifests. For example, as matter, first it manifests itself in the form of life force. In the plants we see the life force. The divinity manifests in the form of life force in the plant kingdom. And gradually, what happens when animals also will come up. In animals, we see the intellect also is developing, the mind also is developing. That means gradually mental development also takes place. Then what happens, when you come to as the animals also evolve, greater and greater development of the mind is there, intellect is there. This is how gradually manifestation of spirit we see. Then when you come to the human level, then we see it manifests itself in the form of self-awareness. We become aware of ourselves. Somehow or the other we become aware of ourselves. Man becomes aware of himself. So spirit manifests itself in the form of self-awareness. So evolution also says, when the evolution comes to the level of human beings, somehow suddenly he becomes aware of himself. So that is a great quality, that is a great strength of man. One philosopher made a very remark, very humorously, that if all the powerful animals like lion, tiger, elephant, etc., become aware of themselves, what will happen? What will happen? And he himself answers, you will not be there to answer that question, he says. When they become aware of themselves, they become aware of their own strength. They will simply pound some human beings and devour them. Will not be there at all. Because we are aware of ourselves, the buddhi is there. Because of that, their buddhi means, development of the buddhi means greater manifestation of spirit within it. That is buddhi, enlightened intelligence. So because we are aware of that, because of that awareness increases. we become more and more aware of ourselves. So because of that we are able to conquer the whole creation. In spite of human being is so weak compared to any other animals, so weak. Even weak, we are weaker than even the ants also. Ants can kill us. So weak, man is so weak. In spite of that, he is able to rule the whole creation. Because of this awareness, he becomes aware of himself. So this is a great manifestation of divinity. It's a spirit, reading of the spirit into the matter. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says, it's a progressive reading of spirit into the matter. When man also evolves spiritually, he becomes more and more spiritual. He becomes aware of God. He becomes God himself. Full of joy, full of joy. He is full of joy. The first, there is a Sat, Chit, Ananda is there. Three aspects of reality is there. That's what our Vedanta says. The Sat is manifested in the objective world, the material world. Sat is there. That is manifested there. And Chit is manifested in the animal world. Gradually it manifests in a different stages by stages. It manifests. Chit, the knowledge aspect of it. Chaitanya gradually manifests. And human level which comes, it manifests in the form of buddhi, awareness and all that. Then also, as the man evolves and realizes his own real nature, the ananda also is manifested. Ananda, he becomes, that is why the person who has realized God man, so joyful, so full of joy, so full of joy. In spite of so many problems and difficulties, you may be suffering intensely, physical suffering, so different ailments, etc. But in spite of that, the joy will never get obliterated. The joy will be there always. So that is why this Sat Chit Ananda, Sat is manifested in the material world, Chit is manifested in the animal world, and as human man develops, the Ananda also gets manifested in a gradual manner. So we shall consider this in the next class. We shall proceed this same subject in next class. And another different aspects of this definition we shall consider. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Satu Shri Rama Krishnarpanamastu.